Over the last 6 years of playing Star Citizen, I have made a handful of videos geared towards helping new players. During that time, I have somehow convinced 2,900 people to purchase Star Citizen using my referral code. Never once have I ever made a review or should you actually buy Star Citizen the game video, so here we go. Until very recently, I have never felt confident enough to recommend anyone ever sign up for this gameplay, much less pay for the experience. When I wasn't making guides, I was bug testing, most of the time against my will, just like most players. I can also absolutely guarantee you, had I made this video even just a month ago during the great player versus elevators of 4.0.1, this video would have been drastically different. With that said, is it actually worth it to finally purchase a starter ship package in Star Citizen 4.1? My short answer is yes, so thanks for coming by and watching the video. Catch you later, bye. Just kidding. But let me dive a little deeper into my reasoning. I remember back when I first started playing Star Citizen, Chris Roberts was promising that game stability would be a main focus going forward. First and foremost, my friends were already playing Star Citizen, or at least trying to. Back then, much like it was recently, playability comes in waves. When it was good, it was freaking glorious. When the game ran like a pair of clown shoes, then it was one of the worst gaming experiences you could ever imagine. I knew the average person would not tolerate so many instances of unstable gameplay, even when they are forced to read that massive block of text when logging into Star Citizen. You know, letting them know it's an alpha. Ain't nobody got time for that. I know Chris promised us stable gameplay years ago, but I grew to understand it was an impossible promise at the time. Stuff like server meshing and the replication layer were still just a pipe dream, really. The majority of the underlying technologies still needed to be developed and then improved before any kind of true game stability could ever happen. Yes, I was butthurt as I felt for a very long time it was a broken promise. It's just, I think Chris Roberts' version of time kind of runs on a slightly different clock than reality. Here's the thing, we finally have a lot of those needed technologies into the player universe now. Squadron 42 is getting closer to completion than ever before. I think CIG now has the ability to follow through with Chris Roberts' second attempt at playability and stability in Star Citizen. Back in December when the 4.0 preview dropped, you know what? I was really excited. The servers only remained semi-stable for the first few days of launch, but you know, you're encouraged to stay and struggle through that gameplay because all that gameplay would be saved. Now, you did have a choice between playing on the 4.0 preview or the 3.24, but you know, none of your progress would be saved in 3.24, so you had to still struggle through the 4.0 preview if you wanted any of your gameplay to be saved. Now, that didn't happen right away. It took about a month. 4.0.1 landed, and immediately everyone who tried to play Star Citizen was met with broken elevators. It was the straw that literally, collectively broke the camel's back of the community, and I'm not kidding. Star Citizen itself became the pinnacle of an unplayable game for most players. CIG even canceled a free fly event for the first time in history, and I'm not kidding, they historically make a whole pile of money during these events. You know, but they pretty much had to because almost nobody could play the darn game anyway. In all of my time playing Star Citizen and keeping up with the current gameplay news, I have never seen the player base come together like this and shout out in one single voice all at once. After years of the same gameplay shenanigans where they released broken patch after broken patch, we were all just completely collectively done if it were to continue to happen. It's like in that moment, CIG got the feels of the environment really quickly and understood we just want to be able to play the game for what it is. I feel that is what really kicked the bug fixing and game stability to be the forefront more than anything else, including Chris's promise. The player base really needed to see action, and that is what CIG has shown us from that moment on. We're rolling out new ships, of course, and some of those new ships are really ugly. Well, the ATLS mining variant mech suit is so freaking cool. You know they're gonna eventually come out with a combat variant, right? You know, I'm just speculating, but it's gonna make a lot of money if you do. Hint, hint, Chris, make the mech suit. Before we go any deeper into my reasoning of now being the time to actually play Star Citizen, I want you to meet one of the most advanced artificial intelligences ever created. He is so powerful, he actually thinks he is a real person. From his perspective, Star Citizen is real. He is living in that future that is happening around us right now. This interview was very hard to pull off. Not only did I have to break into a secure CIG location to enter its simulated environment, but I also had to gain the trust of this powerful AI. These questions are designed to determine its current threat level to the human race. If he believes he is still inside the game and that is his real world, humanity is safe for the time being. Elguapoe, if you could introduce yourself to the community and let the audience know what your favorite gameplay loop is in Star Citizen.
Well, people call me Elguapoe. It means best miner in some Benu dialect, I believe. I mine. You may have seen me around on various outlets, on the news, on a few wanted posters, but those crimes were all alleged.
So far so good. Hands down, you're the best miner in Star Citizen. Can you explain how you became so good?
Of course I am. You want me to reveal to you all my secrets? Damn. Well, simple answer. Obsession, control, power. Sun Tzu, Art of War, 5 rings. Non-stop destruction on your target, no mercy. Always come back with something. Fail, learn, grow. You get it.
With so many game choices out there, why do you choose to play Star Citizen now?
What kind of question is that? Elguapoe doesn't play games, okay? I don't know if you were living under a rock or something, but there's a damn gang war bleeding over from Stanton to Pyro. Bodies piling up. People getting sent to the Shadow Realm as we speak. Back to the point, this is the future. Big things are happening all around us. You can feel the movement, you can see the progress. You can feel it.
Playability and bugs have been a huge issue in Star Citizen. Do you think the game is finally reaching a playable state for its player base?
Listen, Chris Roberts has been rigging elevators, stairs, hangars, torping my ships, stealing my ships, stealing my money every chance he gets. You think I'm gonna let that jabroni win? You just gotta keep moving forward.
With less whites happening between now and 1.0, do you think that's encouraging to the new player to Star Citizen?
I personally like the struggle, the grind. The hunger motivates me. You know, it pushes me forward, it drives me. But I believe if you are trying to build a war chest and engage it at your own pace and really start building something, now is better than ever.
Over the years, I have helped and killed many players in Star Citizen. How often have you PK'd someone specifically to loot something they were wearing?
Now what the hell kind of question is that? You writing a biography or something? You trying to get your investigator's license? Listen, I already told the detectives in Orson, I don't know anything about the guy that went missing. And the vulture thing was that was a misunderstanding. I thought the ship was an odd-shaped asteroid, so I mined it. And I couldn't just leave the loot out there. It would have been wasteful.
Curiously, Elguapoe, how do you feel about the implementation of the new item insurance starting with the Tier 0 edition in Star Citizen 4.1? Is it a good or a bad thing?
I believe you should be able to keep what you kill. Aside from that, adapt, Darwin, I Ching. This topic is above my pay grade.
I've heard you and Chris Roberts seem to have an ongoing beef. Care to explain how it all started?
Hell, the drama goes back to when I was a freelancer. Next question.
What would Chris need to do for you as a player before you can settle this beef?
Oh, I don't know. Sacrifice his marrow for the good of the people.
Final question, Elguapoe. Looking back over your years of playing the game, do you think Star Citizen is stable enough to offer a decent first-time new player experience now?
You keep confusing me. I don't know what you mean by any of this game talk. I already told you. Elguapoe doesn't play games. Stability, new player. You know what? I'm interviewing you now. Does a Copion shit in the field? Stupid questions. Now I know you're a detective. Listen, here's the thing. People in Pyro, yeah, they may be a little unstable, but what do you expect from a bunch of drug runners, vigilantes, and gangsters? Compared to what it used to be like, I would say things are a hell of a lot more stable around here than they used to be. I could feel the vibrations echoing, the future approaching swiftly, you know. Things are finally starting to heat up and get good. And I don't plan on being the one missing out. I'll tell you that much. Interview's over. Now make the check out to south of Selling HVAC Repair. And don't ask questions.
I know I didn't have permission to be there, but we had to know, Chris. Listen, for now we are safe, but at any time Elguapoe might realize he has been trapped inside of Star Engine creating game loops, working on bug fixes and new ships designed for mining when it thinks it's sleeping. You even made him believe he had a contact inside CIG that would steal free ships for him. What the heck are you doing? I'm not even kidding, Chris. You're playing with fire here. If he ever finds out this is all just a game, humanity might be in big trouble and it will be all your fault. For the record, I'm just a random guy who makes YouTube videos. I definitely do not work for Chris Roberts or CIG. Wait, what was that again, Chris? If I give away another ship, you won't press charges for trespassing or tampering with Elguapoe? I mean, I guess it's better than going to Klesher, am I right? On the day Star Citizen 4.1 drops, I will be giving away this 2955 St. Patrick's Day Mustang Gamma with a glorious blue and yellow paint job. Digital game download, lifetime insurance, Murray Cup Racing helmet, Murray Cup Racing flight suit, and the S71 Murray Cup Racing rifle. With all worn items completely covered by the new Tier 0 item insurance for worn items. You can't lose them. Cha-ching. For a chance to win this amazing ship package with all these extras, all you have to do is be a subscriber to the Hawks Gaming YouTube channel, like this video, and leave a comment. It can be anything you want down below. On the day Star Citizen 4.1 goes live, I will use a YouTube random comment picker to choose the winner. The winning comment will be pinned and the winner will be notified of their victory. They will have 3 days to reply to me, or I shall draw another winner until the game package is claimed. Good luck, everyone. Also, thank you, CIG, for giving me the chance to make one person feel super duper special winning this glorious ship package. Why do I think Star Citizen is finally ready for my endorsement as a content creator? Well, I can assure you the road to get to where we are now and the devs being fully behind stability and gameplay, I really do feel that the AI Elguapoe hit the nail directly on the head.
Things are finally starting to heat up and get good. And I don't plan on being the one missing out.
In all of my years of playing Star Citizen, I have never ever felt like I was missing out on anything before. Oh yes, I have had some glorious gameplay moments I will never forget before getting here. Yes, they were that good. When a game has the ability to capture your interest like Star Citizen can, then our future will be very bright as long as gameplay and stability is CIG's continued goal for the entire year of 2025. I have this gut feeling that anyone who doesn't play when Star Citizen 4.1 drops will feel that they might be missing out the deeper we get into 2025. I know with every fiber of my being that things are going to start happening rapidly. Much faster than we have ever been used to before. CIG is now showing us that they are serious. When I look back to all the game loops we had when I first started playing Star Citizen compared to now, well, there is no real comparison really. Mercenary and bounty missions are actually much more challenging now since the AI are not a bunch of freaking space morons. You now have options with missions for trading that does not require you to risk any of your own money, which is super duper awesome. Salvaging gameplay recently got reworked with a slight nerf in yield, because it was putting out too much, and everybody hates when it puts out too much. But, it's still glorious and playable. Mining, one of my favorite all-time game activities, has been semi-broken for many years. Well, that's a thing of the past now, because mining is finally great again. pretty much all types of missions for good guys and bad guys are in a decent place now. Overall, I have seen a big, and that's a huge understatement, amount of improvements to the game in the past 6 years. Seriously, don't even get me started on the 30K issue, because back in the day, that meant a total progress wipe of everything that you had been doing. Then you get all the fun and joyous gameplay of having to start all over again, and sometimes that meant you just lost a bunch of cargo, hence losing a pile of money. Now you pause for a bit, then everyone in that crash server gets dumped into a brand new server, picking up where they had just left off. See, the main problem is the majority of those improvements to stability have only come recently, and it definitely got worse before it got better. As far as new locations go, we finally have Pyro. Now seriously, don't let lawlessness scare you. The system itself is beautiful. Yes, you can be killed there, but you can be killed and stand too. It's not really safer. So seriously, take the leap and enjoy Pyro. We are also getting the new Banu mission locations where you can gather items throughout the verse and create items as well as ships. You can even do missions to receive unique rewards only gotten through the Banu themselves. You know what? Finally something else to do in Star Citizen that doesn't revolve around getting rich, buying all the ships you want to test, and then getting super duper bored and not playing anymore. This is a much needed addition to Star Citizen 4.1, and it's only the beginning. Now, I would be the space villain if I didn't mention some of the changes I wasn't super fond of in Star Citizen. These topics deserve their own videos, but I will touch upon them lightly. Oh gosh, I'm gonna throw up. The first is Master Modes. I guess CIG wanted to slow down combat? Maybe I'm just used to how I would do space combat for over 4 years of my gameplay, so am I the one who's just being salty? Here's the thing about Master Modes. It's lopsided in favor of those who do not wish to engage in combat. Basically, it's far easier to get away from a fight, and I'm not even kidding you. It also really helps you get rounds on target in SCM mode as combat is slowed way down. As far as Master Modes go, well, I'm not super fond of it, but I have adapted. I would say after that change came in, I focused more on PvE and do far less PvP ship-focused gameplay because of that change. Before Master Mode, ship combat felt more skill-based, and I like that even though I got my space butt handed to me more often than not. Now it's a battle of which ship gets damaged the most before the mangled ship switches to nav mode, outruns, then gets their QT off, living to fight another day. Citizens across the verse have been asking for this literally longer than I have even been playing Star Citizen itself. We will finally be getting Tier 0 item insurance in Star Citizen 4.1, but was it implemented with full PvP in mind? Well, for me, this is kind of a double-edged sword. I finally get to use my beautiful subscriber gear that has been rotting at my home location for years now. However, while flaunting my glorious gear, nobody will be able to loot me if they are able to kill me. Well, at least the stuff I'm wearing or the weapon I'm currently using. I am with Elguapoe. You should be able to keep what you kill. Over the past 6 years, I have killed many citizens now. That might surprise you, but I have. I have never once killed someone because of what they were wearing though. Most of my kills are ship-to-ship combat or out of necessity. It really is sad that you feel safer killing a random citizen just to make sure they don't kill you first. Out of all those circumstances, again, I never killed them for what they were wearing. I did it for safety and fearing I might have to spend the next 30 minutes buying all my space scrap again just to start all over, which ironically probably caused them, to go through that same process. Eventually, the item insurance will become a non-issue. I just wish CIG would allow us to keep what we kill along this process. I mean, basically, none of this even matters once Star Citizen 1.0 goes live anyways. On a more serious note, Hawks Gaming, are you a shill or a white knight for CIG? Yeah, no, although I have been accused of that many times over the years. Just because I try to keep my videos positive and helpful even during the most difficult of gameplay moments. Now, could I use my platform to focus on everything I do not like about a thing? Sure, but don't we have enough of that in the real world already? I mean, dude, I like to play games to escape, not to find reasons to hate something. When I tell you I have waited 6 years to make this video, I hope that speaks volumes to you as the viewer. If you consider taking that leap and finally buying a ship package to play the game. I have thousands of hours of playing Star Citizen under my belt, and I can assure you until now, I would not recommend you spend a single penny. Just test the game's performance during free flies, which historically sucked, then make your choice. That has always been my stance until now. CIG is going to really have to screw this up for me to change my mind at this point. The ball is in your court, Chris. I hope you and the dev team continue to do God's work here for the player base's sake. If you have ever considered giving Star Citizen a try, I can assure you right now, Star Citizen 4.1 is definitely going to be their best foot forward. You also want to take the time to check out Elguapoe's YouTube channel, and no, he isn't an AI, although he is always in character, which is pretty win. If you think you might be interested in doing mining or anything mining related in Star Citizen, I'm not kidding, Elguapoe is hands down the most knowledgeable miner in Star Citizen. His Discord and its members are very helpful to the new and budding space miner, so I highly recommend you go check out his content and his Discord. All my love to my Patreon and YouTube channel supporters. Without you, I am nothing. With you, I am everything. Peace.